Welcome back, folks. This week, guess what? We're working on a 67 to 72, specifically a 1971 C10 in the glorious Spanish Gold. Before we wrap up this project, and next week I'm going to do some drive stuff for you, so you know what to look forward to. Yeah, I'm committed to that. I want to show you how it sounds going by, and maybe even driving with me. I don't know. Give you a little bit of what this finished product's about. But before I do, I thought I'd admit to a couple mistakes I made. You guys can live and learn from me as well. I've already learned these, and I still make the same mistakes sometimes, as we all do. So the steering column kind of reminded me, slap on the wrist, about when you get into your project that you didn't build. I mean, in this case, I did, but I bought something I didn't build. Don't trust that whoever built it did it right. We all make mistakes. The best of builders, not saying I'm the best by a long shot, but I never checked the steering column because it was smooth and it worked right. Right? Yeah. Well, you know how that story went. Bearings fell out and I had a scary drive home. I'm going to tell you something. If you're ever driving a vehicle and you lose control of the steering, I happened to be in a parking lot turning really hard when it happened. But boy, if I was on the road, you talk about, whew, that's scary. Because I drove this home, I don't know, about 15 miles back roads in the country at like 20 to 25. And it was scary at 25. So just take a minute and double check some things. So I sat in the chair last night thinking, okay, I learned my lesson on the steering wheel. I never looked at it. Shame on me. What else in this vehicle haven't I looked at? I'm thinking, well, I've been through that and this, and good gracious, I've had every nut and bolt in my hand. I can't think of it. Oh, I know something I never checked. The front wheel bearings. It's a 71, so it comes with front disc brakes. I did the brakes. I never checked the front bearings. Come on. How often do you need to check your front bearings? Research it. I'm not telling you because it's a whole thing. But I thought I'd check these. And then I'll show you how to pack them real quick. Well, I'm not going to pack the backs because this drives smooth and the tires turn smooth and everything. I don't really want to pull the tire off and risk ruining my back seal. Now, if you're smarter than me, which is easy to do, it would be a good idea to just buy two new inside seals for this when you do the project. Pull it all apart, pack everything. But I'm going to be honest. I don't think it's that important. So I'm not doing it. But let me show you what I'm going to do. All right, down here at the wheel. Yeah, it needs cleaned. I know. Everything needs cleaned. Cleaning. It's fun. So nice and smooth. The brakes are on it. So evidently the brakes don't drag. The roll's nice and smooth. So what's to worry about? Well, it's a good idea if you grab the tire front and back and rock it. It could be the bearing, it could be the tie rod, and it might be A-arms. But still check it side to side, then reach under the bottom and check it top to bottom. Top to bottom's pretty much going to focus on your bearing, unless something's really out of whack in there. So let's do this way first. I don't know, can you hear that? I even heard a little pad movement. So there's a lot of slop, if you hear the pads, in this front bearing. Good thing I checked this. That's too much. Let's try top and bottom. Oh, goodness, that's way too much. You hear all that movement? That's definitely too loose. Now, I generally err on the side of too loose because it's one of the few things. I was just a little guy when my grandpa was working on cars. So I didn't really get to work on cars with grandpa much, but I do remember the one thing that he taught me. I don't know why I was around him this one time, but he taught me how to tighten, how to set roller bearings on the front of a vehicle. And I remember Grandpa saying, if you're going to err on the side of loose, if you're going to go one or the other, and I'll get you in there. If you don't know where you're at on the kingpin, always err on the side of loose. And that stuck in my mind for the last 45 years. So this is definitely too loose. I don't know if you can hear it. There's way too much noise and too much movement. So I'm going to knock this tire off. I'm going to take a good, properly dressed chisel. We're not going to talk about that today, but it has a flat tip is what I'm getting at. You don't want it coming to a sharp point. And I'm going to take this apart. I'll get you back when I get the tire off. So I took the tire off. I'm getting ready to take this cap off. And I think I forgot to mention this. I've told a few people, but you might have noticed this groove in the rotor, and you would think maybe a rock got stuck in there or something because we're so used to seeing solid rotors on modern day vehicles or the drilled and slotted style. This was GM's vented rotor back in the day. They just put one groove in it. That was some extra airflow. It's almost like you have two separate pads on here. It's one pad, but you get my point. This is not wrong. This is appropriate. They're very rare, extremely rare to find them with this groove in them. I believe only GM did it, although there's speculations that Wagner and some other high quality companies follow that pattern. But the heavy stamping in the rotor indicates GM quality. It has a date stamp on it as well. I didn't read to find out where it is, but it's likely the original, and that's very hard to believe because the minimum thickness on this is 1.215. You don't have to remember that, but when they come new, they measure 1.25. So you can only wear 4 thousandths of an inch off of this, and it's bad. That's not much, folks. You certainly couldn't turn it down. There's no extra metal to do that. The funny thing is, I got my micrometer and my best measurements. I went around in several places just to make sure I didn't get any bumpiness. And it measures 1.251. It's actually larger than original. How is that possible? Well, their measurements of 1.25 was just nominal. They might be slightly thicker. So this rotor is likely 50 some years old, and it's still in spec by about 4 thousandths of an inch. So next time we put pads on it, it'll be a few years. I'll measure it one more time, but this is the only rotor I've seen with the groove in many, many years, 20, 25 years. Pretty rare to find. Just because it's rare doesn't really mean it's valuable. But I thought I'd run that by you on that real quick. Some of you might find some interest in my dorkiness. All you do is take a chisel, remember, with a slightly flat edge on it because you're not looking to pierce anything. You're going to slip it behind this cap, give her a couple taps. It don't take much usually. I just rotate it and hit a little on the other side. And that cap should come right off. Now, it's got plenty of dents in it, and that's from people hammering it back on. Don't do that. Take the same chisel and you can put it on that lip and you can just tap it back on without destroying the cap. Anyway, we'll do that at the end. I just mentioned it in case I forget. Now, some of these come off harder than others. I got lucky. This one's very easy, but just work it around. And here we are into the good stuff. The other thing I didn't mention is take the time, get some heavy duty wheel bearing grease. Don't just buy any grease or use it out of a tube thinking it's going to work because it's just not the quality you want. So what we end up with is this is I didn't talk about quality of these either, but we have to take out this. Now it's got different names: hairpins, cotter key, whatever you want to call it, because it holds the castle nut so it doesn't spin. That's what we want to tighten in this case. Now, if your grease is really crusty and you think, boy, it looks bad, go ahead and repack the whole thing. Never a bad idea. In this case, it rolled so smooth and the grease still has some color to it. It's red. I'm not going to tear it all apart and repack them. But there you go. Pull the pin out. I put it in the cap just so I don't lose it. Now, ordinarily, we would take this all the way off, and I'm going to do it for you. It should come off just with your fingers. I know it has, it's a bolt, or excuse me, a nut for like a wrench. Well, there's a purpose in that, but generally you don't need it much. In this case, I don't know that I'm going to mess with it much. You do what you think's best. It wouldn't hurt to take the brakes off, tear this all apart, knock it out. And once you get the brakes off, you just hit this once or twice. That bearing will fly out. I'm ready to do that right now. See, the bearing moves right out on its own. And no, your hand's on a hammer, but that was just a light tap. Should have a washer. The washer has a groove in it so that the washer doesn't spin. Because, this is a wheel. It's going to spin. And that way your nut doesn't come loose. Yeah, it's fighting me. I'm getting grease on everything. I generally use paper towels on this job. Only because you're going to get so much grease on a rag, it's not worth having. Or you can throw it away. But if I'm going to throw something away, I'm just going to use paper towel. Enough of there. All right, that should have a notch in the middle. And it does right here at the top. You can kind of see it. That notch goes in the groove on this side, it happens to be. When you put it back on, it won't go on any other way, so don't worry about it. We'll set that over here in my cap so I can paw through that grease later. Now, again, we're not going to go deep into this. You could tap the rotor again, and that bearing will come. Why not? That bearing should come out on its own, and then you can just grab it with some needle nose. It's grease, it's slippery. You just pull out, and you can inspect it further. And that's a good idea to do that. You can see the surfaces are all shiny. There's no pitting on now I've touched on that side, but there's no pitting on any of those. It's smooth. The race is nice and shiny. This bearing is packed with grease. It's got plenty of grease in there. It doesn't need much. It's just a rolling surface. It's not, you don't use it to actually cool it or anything. But let's just take a finger load, smear on here again. Can't hurt anything. Don't need to repack the whole thing. Now you could. You can rinse this all out with brake clean and make sure there's no dirt or grime in it, which is probably a good idea. But I don't care. Bearings aren't expensive. Well, they might be these days. But generally they're $6 to $12. Not a big issue. And you should probably pack the back one. But again, because of what we've got going here, I'm not concerned with it. I put one finger scoop of grease in there. We'll push to the back. Give it some more to just grab and carry around. We're just doing the fronts today. Probably wasn't even necessary to do that. But where'd my paper towel go? Goodness. Now what do I do? Ah, got it. That's all I do to re-grease on just a periodic occasion. When I redo the rotor, like if it's wore out and you need to replace it, again, these are way, way more quality than the modern vehicles. You can leave this out overnight in the rain and it won't be all rusty in the morning. Heck, the new cars, you can leave them out overnight and just the dew will cause them to rust. But I'm not here to badmouth all the new stuff. I like the old stuff. We'll put our washer back on. Castle nut. I'll show you the procedure. Now, I don't generally use the proper wrench size for this. I don't even know what it is. Because you're not cranking on it, you don't really need to. Okay, probably be a good idea. I go finger tight with it, assuming that you rebuilt the whole thing. It's more critical than right now. Here's my pen. I'll just leave that sit there. What you want to do when you put new bearings in it, especially new bearings, and if you repack both of them, you want to tighten that nut down. Now, don't freak out when I said that. Some of you are like, "What?" Yeah, tighten it down. I mean, I got pliers, so I'm not going really tight, but you want to get it kind of firm. Then when you roll it, you'll notice it's hard to turn. But I'm seating all the bearings back together, making sure that everything's where it belongs together. That is way too tight. What'll happen is if you leave it like this, that'll create a lot of heat in here and it will burn out your bearings. Believe me. So like Grandpa said, back it off. Again, just give her a bump or two, rotate it a few times. Still pretty firm. Let's go back a little more. Oh, now we're getting there. Now that's probably right, but I'm going to err on the side of loose. I'm going to go just a little looser. Now, basically, that nut is basically finger tight. Yeah, that's pretty good. Let's see where our pin goes. That's where I like it. if the pin doesn't just go through the hole, we're going to go looser. I remember, wasn't it right over here? All right, so it's not going through. We don't want to air tighter. We want to air on the side of loose. So I just leave my pin in there and loosen it until it goes through the hole. Really slow. That's going to be more than I like. And there it is. That was probably more than I normally would have done. Now I'm not finding a hole. Come on. I'm in the groove. I should have kept track where my hole was at, shouldn't I? No big deal. We'll tighten her back up a little bit. We know we're in the right zone. Come on. There it is. So we just push it through. We didn't move much. Come on, get through there. Of course, it's tight where I can't reach it. Just tapping it. Relax. Get her in there. Come on. All right. Now, what I like to do, just to give it a little bit more looseness, you want it against that pin. Not hard, just turn. It's just 1/16 of a turn. Now, where are we at? We're in pretty good shape. Move smooth. I still feel like it's too tight because I like them loose. But that's probably where it should be. We have the brakes on, so there's a little drag, but not really. What do you think, folks? That too tight? Feels pretty good. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. We wouldn't want to go a whole nother notch. That should be fine. Yep, that's where we're going to leave that one. Now I'm going to put the cap back on appropriately, and I'm going to go to the other side and do that one. It's not that technical. Just don't over tighten them and leave them tight. That's all I can say. It's really, really important. This one was very loose. Now it's probably right on, and I feel better if it's a little bit looser, but I'm going to leave it. It's not that critical. All back together, move smoothly. We're in good shape. All right, I'm going to the other side. Okay, folks, I brought you back after I put the tire on. I only got 2 lug nuts in it, but I'm just checking because I was paranoid that I might have been too tight. But I want you to try to hear this and watch this. So everything's reassembled. Here's how the tire spins. That's pretty darn good. And then listen carefully for this. Now remember, tie rods, ball joints, all new, all very tight. So here's what we have for slop. You can't hear it. It's just a little bit. We'll go up and down this way. Can you hear it? Just a little bit. That's right. That's what you want. Just a little bit. When the weight of the vehicle's on there, it won't move. It's going to be sitting on them bearings. So that's properly adjusted. I'm very happy with that little tiniest motion. So just wanted to show you that real quick and bring you back. I'm going to finish putting these on and do the other side. Okay, folks, next, let's get this steering adjusted. Now, we did the steering shaft and everything. We're back to everything's good. But I have just a little bit of play in my steering wheel. Now, none of my other trucks have that. I don't remember ever driving one that did that. Although I've drove some trucks in my life that mostly Dodges, but anyway, that kind of wandered, we call it, wandering on the road. Well, it's only because your steering wheel has too much play in it. If you had a little less play in it, you wouldn't even notice it. You adjust without thinking. But when the steering wheel has too much play in it, you kind of feel like you're always adjusting. So we're going to make an adjustment here on the steering today. But I bought you guys something. So before we do that, I want to show you your new gift. Now, you're probably thinking you bought us something. Well, it doesn't change what I do. I mean, I watch my videos just because I want to see how they turned out. But this is for your benefit. I'm told by a few viewers that the videos are fine the way they are. Other videos are like, they're kind of grainy. And then if we want to zoom in someplace, that really gets grainy. Plus, I get that light flashing thing for the last 2 years. I know we're all sick of that. That darn camera's been a pain in my butt. So I got you guys a new camera. And we're going to start this last little thing this week. We're going to adjust the steering and tighten that steering wheel up. using a new camera. So I go, let's grab the new camera on three. One, three. Anyway, what do you guys think? I got to get used to it, so bear with me. But it's wider angle. You're going to be able to see more of my shop. So I got a lot more cleaning to do. Whatever. But you can see more stuff. So when you're watching me, if you're getting bored, you can look to the sides and see what else I got going on. I don't care. The quality is better. You're going to be able to see better. And that's the main thing here. Hopefully, all the dark black on black stuff I like to paint will be a little easier for you to see. I got lights. I'm going to try to make things a little more visual. We're down into an area that I normally can't video, so perfect time for a new camera. Let you get you down here and show you this adjustment. It's really simple. Don't be afraid of this adjustment. I know what you're steering, and it's like, I don't want to mess with that. You're not going to hurt anything. If you follow these simple directions, you make small adjustments, you're not going to hurt anything. This is easy. Trust me. Don't be afraid of it. Yeah, I said that. Let me move you in here. So the steering box down here, and it's got four nuts, or excuse me, four bolts that hold the cap on. Don't mess with those. That's these here. Just leave them there. In here, I got my wrench on there. And this part here, like on the top of this cap, there's a nut on there. This one happens to have a nylon crimp top nut. That's so it don't come loose on you. And inside of that is a bolt, if you will, that has an Allen wrench for it. Now I had to use the Allen wrench, and it's a 3/7. What is it? I think it's 7/16. Let me double check because some of you are going to want to know. I'm pretty sure it's 7/16. It's not. It's 3/16. I'm sorry. 7/16 is big. 3/16 Allen wrench is what you want to use. And then on the nut is a simple, just a 5/8. And all you want to do is counterclockwise, just loosen this nut, break it free. Now, you put both hands in there. You guys can't see it from my hands anyway, but just hold that Allen wrench wherever it's at so you have a reference point. Now, I didn't do it. If you're paranoid, you could take, it would be a good idea, a red pen and mark that threaded bolt up here and mark on your box. That will give you your starting reference point. And as long as you don't turn more than a turn, you're fine. You shouldn't have to turn more than a turn. So it shouldn't be an issue. So you loosen that counterclockwise, like I just did. I think I did it. Yeah. And then you make your adjustment with the Allen key. Do it clockwise will give you tighter steering. Counterclockwise will give you a softer steering. We need to tighten ours up. So I'm going to start with like an eighth of a turn. So I'm just going to turn it right now about an eighth or so. Oh, I don't know. Let's get that wrench out of the way. I don't know. Right there's a little more than an eighth, not quite a quarter. And we're going to try that. And all I'm going to do after that is just snug this bolt back down. Now, I'm not going to put it really tight, just firm to make sure it doesn't come loose. And I'm going to go drive the truck. Not today, it's hot. And I'm going to take these two tools with me. Now I can pull into a parking lot after a couple mile drive and say, I still want to adjust a little more. I have the tools with me. That's all you need to make this adjustment. You might make smaller adjustments than me and just pull over again, make another adjustment. If it gets too tight, you can adjust it back. It's that simple. Just thought I'd wrap it up with that. Then we got to do our shop tour and show you what else is going on. Let me grab the camera here. You guys go for a walk with me. See how jerky this is. That's my floor. I just want you to check out my new camera one time. Might think it's fun. Just run this around the shop. I'm going to go over here to old 72 in Avalon Green because the next part we're going to be focusing on now that I got the gold truck done and out of the way. We're going to get back over here and start working on this air conditioning. So right in this area somewhere, next week when I ring it back, we're going to start back. I got my wrap came in the mail. I think I got all the parts for this. So next week we're going to focus on this air conditioning. I'm going to try to get it all back together. I got to buy a battery for it. I want to replace a coolant line, some stuff like that. But that's what we got coming next week with our new camera. come back and visit us. And if this is your first time, thanks for showing up. You don't get to look at that old camera. You're only going to see the new camera. So, welcome aboard, all you old timers. Thanks for coming. Appreciate your time. And by the way, the height point's fantastic. All the thumbs up you guys have been giving me. Thank you very much. Have a good week.